Sound test, please.
Yo.
Do that again for me.
Yo. Perpetual problem of...
Try that again.
Yo. Yo.
Well, we've got you just fine. Tuffy.
Something out there. You're being...
Okay, calm down.
Taffy, cut it out.
Raimundo.
Lie.
See, his voice carries. It's just we gotta get you bigger lungs or something, or more umph in your voice. All right. So when last we left the characters, they had just gotten an inn to the manor of T.C. Varro. Now let me back up a little bit. So at the end of the first adventure, we had actually been commissioned by Derle-Monk to go destroy, and I do use the word destroy, a merchant. Sorry, not a merchant. A cabal of sorcerers that he believes are overtaking the town of Aranjun. He wants us to set up the idea of being a gang of thieves. People would come employ us. We would then pass intelligence back to him. The idea being that, if someone wants you to go get the Tears of Ishtar, not concretely point out, okay, they want this magical item, they must be a sorcerer, I need to go take care of them. Okay? And setting that up, we ended up getting our own little space where we met Perdage and his 4 remaining Turanian brothers.
Mm-hmm. 2 are dead.
And after they have mourned their dead and accepted that we now run their gang, hey, these things happen in the mall. We had gotten some people to set the mall. We had furnished the mall location, which we needed to name the base at some point. We had furnished the mall location with food supplies, a work staff, and then we had gone around and gotten a job from Baal Hatar. And Baal Hatar wants us to ruin this other merchant by the name of T.C. Varro. He wants to ruin T.C. Varro because Varro has prevented Hatar from buying the gladiators from Varro's former arena that we were in. And Hatar believes that T.C. is so fiscally irresponsible that he has not provided for a bad month, and he wants us to go in and undetected. That was the stress of the job. You must be undetected. There should be no way they can tie this back to Baal Hatar. Mm-hmm. You have to ruin the food stocks, sour the wine, if possible, chase off the livestock so you get some of the livestock, and then if possible, arrange kind of a hit on the cash box at the location. So it looks like it was kind of a general just sack and grab, break and entering. Because if we go after just the foodstuffs or something, someone may put 2 and 2 together about why that specifically was targeted. Hatar even suggested leaving behind picks and things at the cash box, but we tried to get in, we couldn't, which is why everything else just kind of happened. So that was the group mission, and to get into there, you'd actually encounter the head chef, who was having problems. Sorry, the servant who was having problems getting staff to the location because T.C. Varro is so adamant about personally reviewing all of his employees. The servant leading you to believe that this has become such an issue that Varro is now short of manpower. Okay, so that is our recap. When we had left the adventures, I listened to the audio record, and perhaps I'm slightly off on this, but as I was listening to the adventure, we had left just after we had met the servant, and he had given you a promise that if you showed up at the manor, he would hire you, because he had met Volley.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we pick up. What do you do?
Question, because it just occurred to me this week. What happened with the dehydrating spell? Is that only on live people and animals and shit, or does it work on things like food and wine? I mean, if he dehydrates the wine, that might ruin it.
That's a really interesting question. The way I had written that ability, it only works on living creatures normally. Because the idea is you're depleting them enough water that they pass out. But it would mean the spell would work by depleting water. In the case of wine, that would make it stronger.
Oh, it would make it stronger? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
Because you'd be removing the water and leaving behind the alcohol.
That'd probably be that'd just make the wine stronger, so it'd just be more alcoholic, basically. It wouldn't really ruin it, just make it...
Oh, no, it would ruin it.
Oh, it would?
Oh, it would ruin it. Because you have to remember that in one, you have a reaction between the ingredients that are fermenting and the water that's put in them to help them ferment.
So if you take the water out, then it would ruin the fermenting.
So you end up with this, like this, as I understand, you end up with like this gunk that is supposed to ferment and liquefy. But to do that, you need some water in there. If you were to remove the water from the mixture, I imagine you'd end up with like kind of like a sludge.
So that could possibly work.
That could possibly work.
And it would be fairly undetectable too.
As long as no one sees you going on, yeah.
Obviously. Now, the foodstuffs that he currently has on hand is already dehydrated kind of stuff, right?
No.
No?
No. You are
Stuff that he had?
you need to think of things like clay pots full of ground wheat that's not been baked
that
yet.
kind of thing.
Pots full of sugar, pots full of salt. Preserved food in this time period would probably, since you really have no way to dehydrate anything but meat, effectively, as I understand it, preserved food in this time period would be things like salted meats and stuff that are in bales, or dried meat like jerky that are hung out in racks.
Gotcha.
And then any specialty fruits or anything he has, he's trying to move those as fast as he can before they spoil.
Okay, gotcha. So, oh, there's an idea. So we got the stuff to spoil the wine, and we got stuff that would spoil the food, right? So we bought that. So, okay, so we have two different courses we could do with the wine. We could either spoil it with the chemical stuff that I got, or I could do the, like,
The mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo?
The jazz hands here. To dehydrate the wine to make it into just a messy little gunk. Okay.
Okay.
Just don't fuck with my wine. My ale. I'm at the Wretched Whore drinking.
Well, we had just gotten back. This is all going on that same day when we're pulling the stuff back on the carts.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Well, wait, didn't they pull stuff back on the carts and then didn't it was
It took them a couple of
Bali?
hours.
Yeah, and Bali and Iskanara went to the went somewhere else to do the information gathering. So is he putting the stuff from the carts away then?
Well, he would be busy for at least a couple of hours because you got to go to the market, load the cart up, bring it back, unload it. That's what him and
Iskanara.
I thought Iskanara was with Volley.
No, I went with
He
her.
and
Okay.
Iskanara
So that's what him and
first
Iskanara were busy
That's
doing.
what they did first. And then later,
Did we all go to the market?
No.
no, I don't know what everybody else was doing, but I know I don't remember exactly how it happened, but they went to the market. I think while they were at the market, I was getting servants and stuff like that employed for that. And then after that, Iskanara and I went to the market to do some asking around, and I don't remember what killed.
Okay. So we could safely say then, for the sake of the game, that basically we have a situation where the group has like come back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the whore going to be our drinking spot? Is that the way this is shaping up?
Sounds
Or it's
like
gonna be
it.
my-
Why wouldn't it be our base?
Right. It's the place to discuss.
Okay, so in the Wretched Whore, you're in someone else's establishment.
Yeah, we
That's not
probably
secure.
want to- yeah.
Our base is secure.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to the Wretched Whore, specifically not to go to our base, you can make contacts. I don't see a reason not to be at the base.
Oh,
We should give the base a name.
I'm at the base.
You're at the base. Okay, so we're at the base. So Harry
Wretched
returns
Whore,
back to our
take
home
two.
building. We probably, as we said from the last session, probably have like 2 or 3 servants that we're using to help clean the place, keep everything ready to go. People's ancient environment stuff, and I'll actually write up an itinerary of servants this week. But we did have Perdage and his 4 buddies. So there were 5 of them all together. Sorry, Perdage and his 4 buddies. And if memory serves, they would just be finishing mourning their funeral for their slain buddy. Or did we have a whole night between that? I don't remember. I don't think we did. Okay, so we're going to speed this up with the group gets stuff, gets information. We spend a night at the base together. All right. During that night, what precautions does everybody take? Because you do have 5 people that just joined you who you don't know.
Well, Volley would probably be putting some kind of noisemaker or something like that over he and Kale's room.
Okay.
Just let Kale know about it so he doesn't trip it off. So that way if somebody tries to come in the room. And Volley also makes it a point to take the bed that's furthest from the door, so that way they have to go through Kale first.
Smart move.
You have gotten the whole idea of how to play the Zamorin. Just, it's like instinct. It's scary. Makes me worry for my well-being if ever we travel. Okay, so
I set a trap on the door.
what kind of trap do you set?
Any kind of a Sumerian wood.
That is so descriptive. Fine, there's a berating about how Crom doesn't care written on your door. No, come on, I need like a trap. Give me like, are we like barring the door? Are you putting like a knife so if they like run through the door?
Yeah, like someone comes in that door with the kind of energy that's obvious they're charging at me, they're gonna get a knife in the throat somehow.
Okay, so I assume you set some kind of like lever and rope system that the door opens, the knife comes down.
I didn't want to give you deets and sound pretentious because I really don't know how to do that. So, but I know Kale probably does.
Okay, so you set some kind of aggressive trap at the door that if someone comes through the door, they'll take damage.
And I let my compadres know.
Okay.
Okay, good, fine. So we don't want people getting stabbed that shouldn't be getting stabbed.
Now, as I recall, when we were divvying up rooms on the top floor, we had stated that we wanted the women to share a room.
Yep. And Vali will make sure that there's some kind of like something set up for Iskanara and Frasia's thing too, mostly for Iskanara's sake. And I'm sure Frasier would probably say something.
So that puts Frasier Win, not
Frasier.
Frasier.
Sorry.
Frasier Win. That
Frasier
puts
Win.
Frasier Win in the. Well, it's okay because last session I got her name wrong. I called her Freda.
Yeah.
I kept calling him Matt Fredo when he
Yeah.
kept telling me to stop that.
But he's important. He's smart. He knows things.
I said, how about Fred?
I'm not stupid like everybody says. Godfather reference. So Freywin and Iskanar end up in the same room. Okay. Both of you give me a perception and awareness roll.
I already know mine. Right now, mine's heroic. I'm starting to know my dice.
I got a success.
Got a success?
I got a success.
Got a success.
Now I have to, hopefully not, but potentially ruin the great vibe we've got going on here. I left my roll sheet home. I thought I had it in here.
That's not
Do you
problem.
have an extra one?
I believe I do.
Thank God.
That's the packet's set
Sorry
for red
about
ink,
that.
but it's fine. They'll
Okay.
work. The rolling chart's still the same. Just none of the other
Okay.
information will be.
Yep, heroic. I knew it was.
Okay. So with your success, you hear some sounds coming from the girls' rooms later in the evening, probably around about 2 o'clock. You, with your heroic success, hear sounds and you can determine their nature.
They're screwing, aren't they?
Yes.
That'd be my first guess.
Yes. And you've never heard Freywin. I don't think fear is the right word. You've never heard her concerned and excited like that before. Like maybe she's concerned for her safety. But doesn't really want to leave.
The same thing happened to me.
Yep.
Is Vali the only
I'm
one
like-
that should be sleeping in Iskanara's room because he's less likely to have sex with her or something?
Well, I'm thinking, serves what good, let the wench have it.
Okay. So the morning rolls around with the sounding of the cockerel. And unlike, some settings where you had the joke of, the animal gets shot, there's actually people up before the cockerel even begins. So you have the smelling of baking bread. You have the activity in the streets. This is the mall. Business never really shuts down in the mall. So there's always something going on somewhere. You hear the faint strains of music of morning performers, or maybe late evening performers bleeding over into the morning trying to earn a few bucks on the street. People hawking their wares. The standard kind of things you'd hear in this kind of mixed mosh environment that's the crossroads of the world. A dozen languages are being spoken, but everybody's arguing in Zomran, and of course the one universal language everyone speaks, Gold.
Yeah.
What does the group do this morning?
Well, we should probably start planning what we're gonna do.
Yep.
Some,
Sabotage.
what's his face? The guy with the gang purge?
Pradesh.
Purge?
Verdage.
I remember correctly, he and his band were gonna go stake out the animal pens.
That is correct.
So they should probably be back by now for that.
They would probably need to spend a good amount of time there, more than just a night, because you also want to watch how the crew takes care of the
Okay.
animals.
So they're
So I've been gone for like, I would expect them back later this evening.
Okay, so maybe we should hold the planning off until later this evening when they but we could probably do some of the planning and then do the rest of it when they get back, so that we were not.
We haven't even seen the site yet.
Oh, yeah. So we should probably check out the site then.
Okay. So let's have the group all meet. So y'all come out of your apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Iskanara is singing. You can hear her humming in their room where she's apparently bathing. She's doing like the sponge bath thing. You don't hear Freywin anywhere.
I'll tap on.
And then on the roof you hear whack!
Ah, there she is. Never mind. I'll still tap on the door and let Iskanara know that we're all meeting downstairs to start.
Right, so
Planning
you
stuff.
tap on the door.
Yeah.
Tap, tap. Yes, master?
Wrong one.
Oh, sorry. She opens the door, and years of slavery have obviously left their mark. She doesn't think to cover up. So when she opens the door volley,
Oh, great.
she's fully in the nude in all of her glory. She has just been bathing, so her hair is all wet and slicked back and back.
Mm-hmm.
She's glistening. I need a willpower
I'm
resolve
on my
roll.
willpower now. I'm not there.
No.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, something tells me that's probably not going to be all that great.
It's right on the cusp.
Considering.
You just start stuttering.
No.
How bad did you fail?
If I had gotten an 11, it would have been a partial.
So you have a failure, not a fumble.
Yeah.
Okay, so she opens the door. You're stuck. She's like, yes, Valley? Valley?
So, what am I rolling? Just like gobsmacked,
Yeah.
beautiful naked woman?
Yeah.
Okay. He's kind of staring and looking her up and down and like up and down and
Okay.
looking at the ceiling.
Seeing what your character is doing, she suddenly realizes, oh. And then she backs up a step. She puts her arms behind her head. She turns her head slightly to the left, and she kind of arches her chest. So things are more out in the open. Habit's taking over.
Okay. Down. Meeting later. I need to get Fraser.
Oh, she drops her arms. Sorry, it's just, I assumed. I'm sorry, I didn't. You can tell she's actually taking this wrong, that she feels like she's offended her master kind of thing.
You're fine.
Just can't get enough, can she?
Perfectly fine. Though in general, I would say cover up because there's some brutish.
So
You
you
don't
put
know
your
how
hands on her
that-
shoulders.
Yeah.
She turns to her, the big brown eyes, the deep pools of her eyes are looking into Volley's. This slight little need to be reassured is apparent on her face. I need the willpower to resolve.
Oh, great. Oh, shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was just if basically
You didn't
if it was
fumble?
I didn't fumble. I was one
Okay.
above fumbling.
Your infatuation now goes from being more than infatuation.
Oh, great.
You're now up to the level of honestly, genuinely caring for this person, almost in love with her. As she sneaks her arms around Volley's chest, she pulls him in and lays her head against his chest. And the warmth and the smell of the woman's just very overpowering. And she whispers, "Don't you like me?
Okay.
Am I doing something wrong?"
What do we call it? Hold on.
So you're above infatuation.
Uh-huh.
You're now there. You're actually like smitten.
Okay, smitten. I was trying to figure out how to write that down. There we go.
Okay. Good girl. Look at my doggo. Look at my doggo. She's such a good girl.
Okay. So she's asking him if he likes her?
Is there something wrong? Am I doing something wrong? She thinks she's displeased you again.
Oh. No, you're fine. You're fine. Just have a very busy day ahead of us and all that. So, let's sort of hold that off till like, well, that and quite frankly, you're very like, Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's an epic. So Skinner gets a chip.
Oh, bloody hell.
She looks up and she kind of giggles. She's like, "Vali, have you never been with a woman? You're acting like a virgin."
Yes, I've been with a woman, usually when I'm trying to get something out of them.
Oh. This is a very new experience for me. I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. Or you're confused about what you want. But I should probably make you aware that I like it. It's one of the only times I ever felt free was when that was happening because I didn't have to think about anything else. And I've really liked it the past few days with people that don't abuse me. And then she kisses Vali very gently on his cheek and then his lips. And as he turns into butter in her hands,
Oh, boy.
she pushes him away. But if you want to wait or want it to mean something more than just release, I understand that too. Because she rolled 26. She now completely understands you. I was rolling her counseling roll to see if she could get what was going on. And she does. So she understands Vali's intention is to be the good guy. But I should probably also inform you that I'm not a worshiper of Zath. I actually loathe the spider god. I worship Ishtar, the mother goddess. And she does require, at this point her hand kind of runs down Vali's side, certain observances of me at least once a week. And that, she runs her hand around Vali's front.
Oh, jeez.
Pats something. And says, so when you're ready, you let me know.
Yeah.
Did you spray your tunic?
What?
Did you spray your tunic?
And with that, fully realizing the effect she has on you and reveling in it because she's never had someone she could tease before, she saunters away with just a little bit more pronounced sway of the hips.
Oh, boy.
Just to make sure Vali's watching.
And he's definitely watching, and he's kind of speechless. She rendered the Jabbermouth speechless. Completely speechless. Like, he doesn't know how to handle this. This is completely, like, not his thing. But after a few minutes, once he finally gets his, like, I don't know, maybe there's, like, somebody closes the door or something like that.
No, she
snaps
didn't.
him out.
She goes back to bathing.
With the door open?
Okay, you must understand, it's a very different culture.
Uh-huh.
At one point, we need to probably watch the series Rome. In this kind of technology culture, people actually see each other naked a lot.
Oh.
Nudity isn't necessarily sexual.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There's a scene in Rome where one of the characters is actually bathing in his front yard. In plain view of everybody, and nobody thinks anything about it. It's a very different... There are very different images on a lot of things. But one of them is the sense of shame. The sense of shame is really not there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess that wouldn't bother him at all. So he'll just kind of, like...
No, it's definitely not bothering him.
He'll like go, and just kind of...
Busy thing,
yeah,
yes.
And head up to Fredrin to let her know.
Gail, what are you doing while the poor Zamoran boy is acting like a virgin?
Grabbing breakfast.
You go downstairs, and one of the old ladies that we've hired to like take care of the place sits down. When she sees you, she looks down at the plate that she's prepared, shakes her head, goes back to the stew pot, gets a second plate, brings both plates over to you, filled full of like saffron rice, a little bit of like roast meat. You don't want to know what kind of meat it is, but it's roast meat right now, and he meat's good. And sets down, because it's morning, a kind of... It's hard to describe, Arya. She sets down this milky kind of beverage.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sort of like yogurty drink made out of milk and salt. That's common breakfast fare. It's a weird thing to describe. You kind of like take the milk and the salt and you froth it in a way. So it's kind of like this... It's almost like a milkshake, but a little bit more liquidy. Common beverage here in Zamra.
Take it, thank her. Indulge.
She nods to you as she walks away. Roll a intuition and counseling on the girl, on the old lady.
Crap.
Counseling, it's just intuition.
Success.
She walks away. As she walks away, you can tell from her demeanor and the sly look she's giving you on the side of her eye, you've made her wish she was younger.
Yeah, he has this effect on people.
Volley comes down the stairs, obviously shaken.
He looks flustered. You've never seen him really look flustered. Well, he's not flustered like he is currently flustered.
You look like you need a nail.
That would probably be a very bad idea right now.
What ails you?
Women ails me. Women always, isn't that the usual thing? Where's breakfast?
Syrah.
Plate set before you.
Thank you.
Freywin comes downstairs. She kind of looks like Volley. She sits down. She has this look on her face, which is like, you've never seen the Vanyar look guilty before. She looks guilty. Ashamed, even. She sits down. She doesn't say anything. She takes the food, starts nibbling at it. What? She says to both of you with a sudden snort.
What's kind to you this morning?
I'm just... I'm a little upset. That's all. I'll be fine. Where's this Ganara?
Oh, she's bathing.
The Vanyar kind of sits there for a second. You say the word bathing. She kind of blanks out for a second, comes back. You can tell she's instantly thinking of the naked, curvy body. Yeah, bathing. Okay. So what's our plan to get this guy's gold and ruin his stuff?
Well, I might have an in.
Do tell.
So the head chef was at the market the other day for Mr. Varro's place of residence. And apparently Varro's been going through quite a lot of employees here lately.
That seems odd.
Apparently he's been very demanding and doesn't quite understand, especially with the chefs. He wants all these unique dishes put together and yet doesn't understand the sheer amount of preparation that goes into it. So they've been losing people left, right, and center. We could possibly get ourselves in there.
Why is he wanting all these specialty dishes prepared?
He's hosting quite a few people. And it sounds like he's possibly going to be trying to host the queen when she comes down.
Well, we want to avoid the royalty. That's a sure way to get killed. But how exactly are you getting in?
Well, he said they're going through quite a few people, so at the moment, by myself I could probably get in as a kitchen hand or something like that, but if we want the rest of us there, then we probably need a bit more of a plan. Varro's apparently very persnickety, wanting to interview people himself for it.
Well, the main problem I think is going to be that Kale and I stick out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we can't exactly send Iskanara in there with you because... Well... Freywin just lets it hang. But the Turanians, being closer foreigners than you and I, probably often drift this way looking for labor, looking for jobs.
So it could be a possibility. It might put them in a good position to then be able to chase off the herds when we need them to.
Speaking of that, my friends, says Pradaj as he walks in. Sits down. Speaking of that, my friends, we have done our nightly review of the grounds, and there is good news and there is bad news. The good news is the herdsmen don't know what they're doing. The bad news is the mercenaries TC Varro has hired do.
Oh, shit.
As far as scouting the livestock, it may be more economical to simply slay them, slip some poison into their feed kind of thing. I understand that means that we would get less profit, and it would also kind of betray that this was a hit. I'm not sure how we can arrange to scatter the herds because he's got about 20 mercenaries on the property. And here's where it gets really bad. The two men leading them are former Aquilonian legionaries. I know that because they're still wearing their Loreca Segmenta,
Ooh.
which is a particular type of armor. As they are Aquilonians, they of course dot all their I's and cross all their T's, and are very observant.
Wrong.
Okay, then.
Anyway, getting me a job as one of their mercs.
Well, we could do that, but the problem is your Perdage goes like up and down with his hands.
You're fairly noticeable. You wouldn't blend in very well, and you would stick out. So if something goes wrong, of course they would blame the Cimmerian, because of course. Cimmerians do nothing but cause trouble, at least according to
Speaking of
everyone
which-
here.
What about that robbery you pulled off last night?
What are you talking about?
Didn't you jack Kuai Lung's caravan for its emeralds?
No.
You're thinking of a different Cimmerian.
That
There's
was,
apparently two.
That was that other dog we saw in the Wretched Whore.
Well, you should know there's a rumor going around town that a Cimmerian jacked Kuai Lung's emerald chip.
And brought down the Elephant's Tower.
Are you the elephant man?
He did the same thing. That was the same guy. The same Jack.
Wait, look at this straight. Since we're not suddenly understanding. Recognition dawning on it. There's another one of your barbarous kin in town doing great things, and you're not a part of it.
I don't know the Jackal.
He slaps you on the shoulder. Oh boy. If you see Watchmen, duck. They're looking for anybody with black hair and blue eyes right now.
Of course.
I would say put a hood on your head, but that might make them more suspicious. Unfortunately, you're too tall to put a burqa on.
You want some cream soda?
Nah, no.
Well, we could put him like in a burnous and some other stuff to try to hide his features.
It's a burnous.
It's kind of cloak.
Ah. That wouldn't be unusual.
Like Conan
Not in this area. The area is semi-arid, so sometimes people do wear them.
Okay. So, yeah, you could put him in something like that so that way he's not...
Basically the one he got caught in the movie. Well, you can't be jabbing about this all day. Let's get a plan going. I grow restless.
So, for that, would there be some possible way of distracting the mercenaries to scatter the herd?
Maybe.
I don't know, what if a fire got set somewhere? I mean, old
That would
one, but...
thin the mercenaries. We still might have to somehow combat them. But the goal was you're going to break in at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Breaking the
What
night
if the
club.
mercenaries are busy being entertained? Says Perdage.
That could work.
Hard men like to drink hard. It would thin down the numbers to just whoever's on watch and cut down the number of mercenaries guarding the flock. Perhaps your dancing girl could dance for them. Give her a couple of my buddies to play an instrument. Barchu, what do you do? I am a percussionist, says the big Turanian. Yes, of course you are. ID skilled. Yes, I'm sure you are. Very high skilled. Yes, Barchu, I get that. Zasha, what do you do? I play a nude. Not as well as you do, sire, but I do play a nude. So there's our dancers.
That
Our
could
dancers
work.
band. We get the mercenaries watching her.
And then we can get the herd, take out whoever's left, get the herd scattered.
So my musicians, and the dancing will distract them. While I do that, he points to his two other brothers who I don't have my name card in front of me. It was Joti and Joti and something else. They'll steal the horses. The two of them should be able to direct the herd. That gives you time to infiltrate the manor. We can probably do it on the outside edge. Now, the manor looks like this. Oh, sorry, tough. So you have your manor house. Damn it. You have your manor house and its wall. It's actually fairly strict. He's only got one wall, and the manor's like square.
Mm-hmm.
The manor has been closed off. It has an interior courtyard. It's actually a U inside. Like here's your building, and then the U part has been covered off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like one grand entrance here that's open to the. When I think of servants' doors all around it.
That.
Stables are over here. This is enclosed by fencing. Over here you've got his grain silos. The warehouses you're looking for are there. The wine's actually stored below the manor, probably in the basement. So that's going to be the trick. All this around it is pasture.
So the food would probably be in the warehouse?
Most likely, yes.
So, sounds like we almost need 3 teams. You'd need 1 team that would take care of the mercenaries, and 1 team to go into the warehouse and get that gotten rid of, and then another to go into the wine cellar.
Well, the Turanians are taking care
Yeah, they're
of
taking
the
care of...
animals. So that's taken care of. So really you need 2 teams.
True, because we take care of the wine cellar, then on our way out we can take care of the food. Or hit the food and then do the wine cellar.
The big thing is, where's the cash box?
That would be a good question.
So I think step 1 is you have to get someone into the manor and see the actual floor plan.
I think I shall go work on that.
At this point, Iskandar comes downstairs and goes, or why don't we simply ask someone who already works there?
True. I mean,
You say you have an inn?
Yeah, I do have an in with the head chef or something, so he might know. I didn't ask too much about it before because I didn't want it to look suspicious.
If you show up and they're seeing Casey in the place as one of the workers, someone might remember you, even though you look very handsome, she says to Slight. But if we ask an already disgruntled servant what the layout is and no one sees us walk onto the property, the servant might be able to give us at least a general layout of the grounds without us having to be there.
That's true. So, looks like I will be hitting up the head chef again. Anybody else have any other input?
I mean, you're the one that has the inside guy.
Okay? So we're going to try to hit up the chef then?
Yeah, invite him out for drinks.
Okay.
Because if we get him drunk enough, it'll loosen his tongue, and he might not even remember the conversation in the morning.
And I'm sure he'll talk to Ishanara.
Iskandar.
Yeah.
He might. So if the 2 of us go, then that might be a good way of pumping him for information.
I gotta be careful where I show my face. And even in my tunic, I'll probably look pretty massive.
Well, there are men as big as you. It's just that, like anywhere else, they're rare.
Okay.
You have more than the north than you have here. But this guy was like, okay, well, let me go get dressed. She's not naked, but she's obviously dressed in house clothes. Mm-hmm. When she means dress, she means going and get like a veil and a whole thing, so she's
Yep.
so she's covered because it's been made quite clear to her that she leaves an impression. So if I don't say otherwise, we can assume this Iskandar is always walking around veiled, not to the degree of like a full chador, but probably like a veil over her face and her hair so that people can't automatically identify her. And then some regular clothing on top of that with her dancing silks on underneath.
Ooh,
Okay, so she goes upstairs to get dressed. While she's getting out her veil and stuff, Pradaj watches her go up the stairs. What? Oh, sorry. He points like this, but...
Yes,
Ugh.
I understand the effect, but...
Whoa. And she's not for sale.
No!
Betty. Okay. Check the time on the recording.
Does it deactivate after an hour?
No, but hour-long segments are about all I am comfortable doing because of the issues of transferring it to video later. But we'll get to that. There's been an issue with that this week too. Okay, so about 15 minutes later, Iskandar comes down, dressed in her veils and everything, so she's covered up and not as memorable. She looks like all the other women that are veiled. And in Aranjun, you would get women mostly from the training accidents of the country next door, but also from some Zamoran sensibilities. You get women that wouldn't fully cover up, but would dress more conservatively. Typically, these are women that are already married. The unmarried women dress provocatively to try to attract a mate, which, of course, makes everyone think they're loose when they're not. You, do you want to like wait for the guy in the market, or you want to actually ride out to the manor? What's your plan to meet him?
I guess the question is what would be the least suspicious thing to do?
Well, in the market, the two people will see you talking and might put two and together, but if you ride out to the manor staff will definitely have a better chance to remember you because there's less people there.
So it'd probably be better to just see if we can catch him in
Loiter in the market.
Yeah, market.
Okay. So you go loitering in the market. Now, for that, they can take you along. You just got to
Yeah, you can
wear
just,
your cloaky hood.
Yeah, just kind of look like our bodyguard or something.
Okay. Give me a streetwise and perception. Everybody.
Oh, son of a bitch. Success.
Dramatic.
Okay. So in the mall, the watch is doing its typical thing of hovering at the edges of the mall and looking like they're a presence when they're not. As you leave the mall and go into the market proper for Aranjun, you see the watch is slightly more active, but being as they are the city watch, they're prone not to be too active. If you don't commit a crime right in front of them, they're not going to pursue you.
Mm.
The people of Aranjun are their normal, noisy, raucous selves, haggling over their wares and arguing over the merits of whatever trinket they're trying to sell for much, much more than what it's actually worth. As you go through the market, this is the more, this is the more well-to-do market. There are people here that aren't, scuzzy kind of thing. There's coffee brewing, by the way, if you need it.
Well, thank you.
As you walk into that market, you come across a fanfare. As marching along one of the streets, there's a long line of animals I don't think any of you have ever seen before. Elephants.
Oh, yeah, I really doubt Volley's ever seen an elephant.
There's a procession of elephants walking by, and the men that are making the elephants move are very dark, even darker than Zamorans. Many of them are wearing blue turbans. And as they proceed by, on the backs of elephants are these huge bundles of trade goods, spices, things of that nature, and armed men are guarding the sides of the animals. And as they're walking along, the horses and other animals that are normally used to convey stuff, because of the strange scent of the elephants, kind of panic a little bit.
Oh, dear.
And so what the owner of the elephants has done is he's actually sent men in front of him saying, we're coming through, move, move, to clear the way so the elephants don't turn over cars or anything like that or cause the animals to freak.
Mm-hmm.
As they traipse along, in the midst of the procession, one of the men in the turbans turns and looks at the party. You notice that on his arms he's got several rings. And of course you think back to the night when you saw somebody throwing rings.
Mm.
And it occurs to you this might be the same guy.
Okay.
Foreigner, same kind of odd weapon, yada yada.
Hmm.
He looks at the party, and I need intuition and counseling from everybody.
Ooh, I rolled a 19. Oh, I rolled a d6.
Mm-hmm.
Fail.
Okay. She's like, what was that?
Legendary.
Ooh.
A legendary?
Legendary.
You recognize the look of recognition. This person recognizes the party, which means it also betrays that he was the person at that battle.
Uh-oh.
You can see also that he's aware that you're aware that you saw the look of recognition. He just kind of nods to you and silently puts a finger to his lips like that. Okay. So you're going to play ball.
Yeah. I mean, what do they have to gain by exposing this guy?
For preventing yourself from being assassinated.
Oh.